Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to an all-new edition of War Week Radio. Guys, happy Thursday, everyone. And we've got a special treat for everyone this evening. We've got Maestro James Gogue back on the show. James, how you feeling from León, Mexico, brother?
Oh, man, Joe. Yeah, like I said, the altitude up here, it's like, over 6,000 feet. So it took me a while to get used to it, but I'm used to it now. But, I just had another hard day in the gym and trying to teach, these motherfuckers how to fight. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something about coaching, Joe. Jesus. I don't give a shit how good a coach you are or how much you think you know as a coach and all that shit. When you're teaching these guys that don't know how to fight, and I'm trying to teach them how to fight, man, sometimes the process, I've been doing this a long time. Okay, I've been training since 88? Yeah, 88. I started training fighters, and sometimes your patience grows short when when you got to tell a motherfucker, over and over the same thing, and he still ain't getting it. Well, guess what? You put him in sparring like I did today, and let him get his ass whooped. Now he understands what I'm saying now. Okay, all right, mitt work. That patty mitt work and shadow boxing and running and jumping up, strength and conditioning, jumping up on boxes and doing burpees. That don't mean shit. Sparring is everything. That's gonna tell me how if you're ready for a fight or not. Okay, sparring is king. And sometimes when you're trying to teach these guys when you're not sparring, in the mitt work or shadow boxing, okay, that's the number one way you learn skills. Okay, all right, shadow boxing. Trying to teach them when you're when they're doing shadow boxing, they ain't getting it. It gets to the point, man. You get frustrated. You put them in sparring to understand what I'm trying to get across. Okay, there's nothing wrong, like I said, when you're getting your ass whooped in sparring, okay? That tells me the character of the person, if he has that mental toughness or resiliency to keep pressing ahead, okay? Okay, that's the key, Joe. When you're learning and growing, you're going to take your bumps. You're going to take your ass whoopings in the gym. But you got to have that mental resilience and toughness inside of you to keep forging ahead. Keep working, pressing. Then you're going to get better. Whatever you're not good at, or you're uncomfortable with, you're going to get comfortable because you're doing it over and over again. So all you young coaches out there, that's the process. But I don't, look, man, I don't got ready-made motherfucking fighters like some of these trainers out there. Okay, like what's that young kid, Ben Davis? Shit,
Ben Davis, yeah.
You got Josh Taylor, Billy Joe Sanders. What the fuck is he going to teach them guys? You know what I mean?
They already know how to fight. Yep.
Yeah, he ain't like me where I got to teach these guys how to fight from the ground up. Developing the fundamentals, developing the mindset, which is the most important. Teaching them to be mentally tough and resilient, having that mental intestinal fortitude. Okay, that's a fighter. All right, and when they're getting their ass whooped in the gym, hey, man, that's part of the process, man. And, But anyway, yeah, I just had to tell you about all you young coaches out there, man. It's easy to train a guy that knows how to fight already, all right? Jesus. Okay? You get a guy like Josh Taylor, it's your job to fuck it up, all right? All right? That's easy to train a guy like, but taking a guy from scratch and trying to make him a fighter, and going through the minor leagues in the Mexico, the minor league system in Mexico, where you're gonna a lot of tough fighters, man. They're gonna test his man. They're gonna test your manhood. Oh yeah, but anyway.
Well, I tell you what, also, Coach, even with 16-ounce gloves on, it doesn't feel good, brother.
Oh fuck no, hell no.
You know what?
Especially when you're tired and you're getting hit. Okay, and I tell them to go another fucking round because they give me that look. That tells me, man, they ain't got that toughness, man. But when they they look at me like, is that it? I said, motherfucker, don't give me that look. I tell them, bite down. You're going another round now, okay? You show me that fire, that hunger, that toughness, okay? So you go, I make him go another round. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, you know what's funny, and I want you to expound on this before we start breaking down the fight tonight. One of the biggest excuses I get from Deontay Wilder's delusional fan base is that they can't believe that someone as quote unquote pillow fisted as Tyson Fury could do that much damage to a physically durable guy like Deontay Wilder. Please explain how a giant man who's 270 can hurt and knock out any heavyweight in the world.
Fuck, I used to tell people anybody over 200 pounds can hurt you, okay? That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight. When you put that weight behind your punch, whoo, and it hits you on the chin. You know what I'm saying, Joe? Anybody over 200 pounds can hurt you. So don't get that feather-fisted shit, bullshit.
And Gogue, it's not like it's a normal guy hitting you. It's a trained elite-level fighter.
No. Exactly. Come on, man. That's a bunch of bullshit. Anybody over 200 pounds can hurt you, man. You hit them with a good shot, okay?
Indeed. Well, can you believe Fury versus Wilder 3 is going to be 3 weeks from this Saturday?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, it's coming up fast. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, I tell you what, in my opinion, I'm not so sure that Deontay Wilder's mentally fit to compete in the ring, but that's for another show. But Gogue, how important is it for a fighter to be brimming with confidence 3 weeks before a fight of this nature?
Everything. Confidence is everything, man. You step in that ring, confidence is everything. It's mental, Joe. All right? It's mental. How do you get that confidence? Through your preparation, game planning, putting in the hard work, making the sacrifices, not taking any shortcuts. Okay, stuff like that. He's coming off a devastating knockout, so it's up to him to get his mind right. It comes, man. Remember I told you, Joe? I just talked about it earlier. You're getting your ass whooped in sparring. Guess what? You don't get discouraged. You get meaner and tougher the next time you spar. And the guy you got your ass whooped by, you make sure you give him some payback. Okay, that's a fighter. That's being mentally tough and resilient. Okay, and that's what he has to do. He's got to get that mental attitude, his mind right. Like he wants to whoop Tyson Fury's ass. Whatever happened last fight, hey, all right, that was his day. But come, when do they fight? July 24th?
July 24th.
Yeah, come July 24th is going to be my day, all right? That's the attitude he's got to have. Whatever he did in the past, hey, that happens. It's boxing. You had an off day. Everybody had off days in fights, but they come back. You know what I mean?
Indeed, brother. Well, we look forward to covering that fight the closer it gets to July 24th. Guys, that's right around the corner. But tonight, guys, in the aftermath of Gervonta Tank Davis's impressive stoppage victory over formerly undefeated Mario Barrios, well, we're going to ask Coach Gogue to break down a potential elite-level matchup at 135 pounds, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Vasyl Lomachenko. Coach, this is one of the best fights that you could make in any division. What are the chances of us actually seeing this fight materialize?
Oh, fuck. Joe, when you asked me to do this fight, I'm like, man, I don't like doing fantasy matchups. That's all it is.
I know.
You know what a fantasy matchup is? A fight that never fucking happens, all right? Right. And I know Floyd and Leonard are gonna protect that little what do you call it? Ticket seller the best they can possible. So when you told me that, I'm like, man, why do I want to talk about a fantasy matchup? When these guys should be fighting each other. That's what pisses me off. You know what I mean? Nowadays, these motherfuckers, the best don't fight the best, man. You know what I mean? There's so many good fights that should be out there that ain't happening now, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And,
well, we want to find out from the 5-decade fight trainer who has the edge in this. Can Tank hang at the elite level at 135 pounds? Can Vasyl Lomachenko take Tank's firepower? Let's look at the tail of the tape for Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He's going to come into the ring at age 26. He fights out of the southpaw position. He stands 5 foot 5.5 inches tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a 67.5-inch reach from Baltimore, Maryland. He's going to come into the ring with a perfect record: 25 wins, 0 losses, 24 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach, what's there to like about Gervonta "Tank" Davis?
He's exceptionally fast, quick, and explosive. He can hurt you at any time. He can knock you out at any time. All right, Joe? That's Tank, Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Okay, one of the game's most explosive, dynamic punchers. Okay, when he hits you right, he can hurt you. A very good body puncher, a devastating body puncher. Once he gets that right distance, and he sets himself good, and his stance is fundamentally sound, boom, that right uppercut, them right hooks to the body. Oof. Yeah, Tank. Yeah, like I said, and he's had a big amateur background, so he knows what he's doing in that ring. You know, he's a God-given he's a physically God-given fighter with a lot of tools he could work with. Okay, he's got good reflexes. Okay, Joe, he can slip punches real good. Okay, he's got fast hands. He throws sharp combinations. He can hurt you at any time, and of course, you know what I mean. Oh, that lead right hook the other day, you know, and put Barrios on his ass.
How did he set that one up, Coach?
Oh, he feinted that jab. You see him? He feinted the jab. Mario Barrios bit, and then he exploded with a hook. You know, he jumped in with a hook and caught him. But that feint is the one that froze him. Then he came around with a hook and everything. Without that feint, he wouldn't have landed that hook because Mario would have saw that coming. But because he feinted him, it set up that lead hook. Canelo does it beautifully. Canelo feinted, then he'll lead with that sneaky left hook. Ooh. But Tank, yeah, like I said, he's a physically gifted, talented fighter. Explosive punching power. Anytime during the fight, one punch can end it. He could throw, pretty much, over the years, man. One thing I like about Tank, his game has evolved. He could throw pretty much every punch in the book now. You know what I mean? His best punch to me, Joe, that left uppercut.
Decapitate you to the body or head, man, and chop you in half.
And that right hook of his, dude, Joe, he's just physically gifted, talented, all around, explosive, fast, quick. What do you call them? Quick twitch muscles. You know what I mean? The ability to boom to react. Yep. Yeah, he's got those exceptionally gifted, exceptionally God-given. You can't teach them fast twitch muscles. What I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So when you have a fighter, Coach, as physically gifted as someone like Gervonta "Tank" Davis, how much different? What is there a difference in your approach in how you teach fundamentals and what skills you can actually teach?
Fuck no! You teach them the same shit you teach a guy that doesn't have. Look, I got guys that are not even on Gervonta's level. Okay, I mean they're like levels below. I'm in the Mexican minor league system, but I still teach the fundamentals, which is balance, footwork, working off the jab. Okay, that jab is key. It's the number one weapon in boxing. The jab. All right, it's the number one weapon. Okay, if you're intelligent and you know how to use it, it just makes your fight so much easier. Then you just teach them the basic fundamentals. A guy like Tank, who's short and stocky, who has to get close to his opponent to have his highest offensive success, you teach the punches that are gonna work best for him. That straight left hand, them hooks to the body, the straight left hand, the right hooks to the body, them uppercuts, okay? The straight left hand to the body, okay? Stuff like that, Joe. All right. You teach when he gets his distance right, you teach those basic fundamental punches. Like I said, A guy like Tank, that straight left hand to the body. Ooh, straight left hand to the head. Okay, that right hook. Okay, the right hook when he gets closer now. From medium range to short range, that left uppercut to the body. Ooh, where he dropped Mario Barrios. That right uppercut. Now, what Tank needs to do? We talked about that in the last show, I think. Start adding. He throws single shots. Start adding 2 to 3 punches, combinations to be more creative, to be more effective. Okay, meaning, like I said, the uppercut, come back with the right hook, then come back with the left hand, or the right hook, uppercut, the right hook, come back with the right hook to the body. See, remember I told you, Joe, he's getting away with it with one punch or 2 sometimes, because when he hits you, he'll hurt you. But there's times where you can't hurt a guy. As he goes up the food chain, the guys are going to be tougher. So he's got to add more dimensions to his game. And if he starts throwing, mixing the 2 to 3 punch combinations with his single shots, remember I told you before, Joe, one punch is going to lead to the other. When you hit a guy with a straight left hand to the body, what do they usually do? They usually bend, they usually, belly over. Then after that straight left hand to the body, one of the best punches to follow up is that right uppercut to the chin, because he's right there. You know what I mean? That left hand to the body is going to set up that right hook, right uppercut to the chin, or the right hook to the head. You know what I mean? Then if you want add on another punch, come back with that left uppercut to the chin. That's one thing Tank needs to do to evolve his game, is add more variation to his offense attack by putting 2 or 3 punch combinations in different variation. You know what I'm saying, Joe? Up and down and up, coming up the middle, coming at angles, coming around. All this. All the stuff I talked to you about. One punch I like, if you're a southpaw, Joe, is that little short left hook inside. Then come back with a short right up. The short left, that little short hook inside, then come back with a short left uppercut. I call that the over and under. Over and under. Oh, that always works, man. Ooh. And Tank can do all this stuff. That's what you can't say he don't have the talents to do it. He has the ability to do it. Now they got to work on it. Him and his team, his coach. You know what I mean? Just because when Tank gets the right distance. Ooh.
Yeah. Lights out. Well, I tell you what, he's got to time his opponent coming in, and of this point, his mythical opponent is going to be Vasyl Lomachenko. Here's a tell of the tape for the Ukraine native. Right now, if the fight happened today, he would come to the ring at age 33, originally from the Ukraine. He fights out of the southpaw stance. He stands 5'7" tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a 65.5-inch reach. Now residing out of Oxnard, California, he comes into the ring with a legendary resume and a record of 15 wins, 2 losses, 11 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what is there to like about Vasyl Lomachenko?
At one time, he was game's best pound-for-pound fighter. What I like about him, number one, he's got a great amateur pedigree at the international level, and a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. What does that do, Joe? When you got a big amateur pedigree like that, Joe, and you competed at the highest level, you faced every top-level fighter that out there in the world, every style. Remember Emmanuel Stewart used to say what he liked about the amateurs? It prepares you for the pros, because you experience every adversity out there, every type of style.
Style imaginable, yep.
Yep, every style imaginable. But he did it at the international level. He fought the Cubans, the Russians, you know what I mean? The Americans, England. He fought all the top guys.
Yep.
So he's seen every style out there. He knows what it is to compete against them guys.
Do you think we'll ever see another amateur record like Vasyl Lomachenko's 396 victories and only one loss?
Not in my lifetime. But the thing is, though, that's his base. That's his, from his amateur career, he learned the fundamentals. He learned the fundamentals of footwork, moving in and out of range, moving in circles, moving in angles. Okay, he learned the fundamentals of working the feints, working off his jab, putting the combinations together. Okay, he learned when he turned pro, he started learning the inside game better. Okay. When he was an amateur, it was maybe long and medium range. When he got in the pocket, you could see he was deficient in that area when he fought Orlando Salido.
Mm-hmm.
Salido kind of like gave him his first baptism under fire moment with that hard physical pressure.
Yep.
But he got better. He got better off that fight. Like I said, losses make you better. If you don't get down on yourself and get frustrated and discouraged off a loss, and use that loss as an opportunity to grow, you'll get better. Lomachenko did that, so he's gotten better at the inside game, and not only at the inside game, but his ability to pivot around you beautifully in the pocket. But Lomachenko, like I said, he brings a multi-dimensional attack. Okay, like I said, Joe, all this came from the amateurs. Okay, the pro game, like I said, the inside game he learned, but he brings a multi-dimensional attack, meaning he could press you. He knows how to apply intelligent pressure. Remember I told you intelligent pressure, good footwork, knowing how to close the distance. Head movement, putting that jab in your face. Okay, feints. That's the fundamentals of applying intelligent pressure. So when you're closing that distance, you're not going to get hit with incoming by your opponent. Lomachenko's damn good at it. You know what I mean? And he blocks punches. When his head movement ain't working, or his footwork, or his head and upper body movement ain't working. Yeah, when his head and upper body movement ain't working, when he's not using his head and upper body. When he's not using his, I can't even get my words right. When he ain't using his head and upper body movement or his jab, okay, to make him miss, he keeps his hands up nice and tight where he blocks his punches, where he blocks your punches real good, okay? Like I said, Joe, he's got 3 lines of defenses. His footwork, moving in and out, head and upper body movement, blocking those punches. Oh, yeah, the jab, that's another line of defense. You put a jab in a guy's face, you're going to get hit less coming in. Okay, and the feints too to make you freeze, to offset you. To keep you hesitant from throwing. Okay, all this stuff. You know what I mean? But the thing is, Lomachenko knows how to do that. So natural to him. He'll know when to feint you. He'll know when to move. Use upper body movement. He'll know when to use his jab. He'll know when to use his footwork to close the distance, to pivot around you. He'll know when to go out of range, in and out of range. And when he puts his combinations together, Joe, he puts them together beautifully, man. He knows how to throw every punch in the book. He throws his punches in different variety of combinations, coming from all angles. And depending on the opponent he's fighting, he'll put some combinations together, which are working, and he'll keep using it. Like that Japanese guy he fought, that straight left hand kept on working, so he kept on throwing that straight left hand. You know what I mean, Joe? So, yeah, but like I said, Joe, he because of his amateur background, that's his foundation. He knows how to adjust and adapt to every style out there because he's seen them all. Tank Davis, he ain't seen shit. Tank Davis, you don't think he's seen that shit? 50 times in amateurs, 40, 50 times. You know what I mean? So like I said, he's a multi-dimensional fighter with a high boxing IQ, Lomachenko. And that fight the other night when he took apart that Japanese guy, that told me he's back. Oh yeah, that maybe when he heard it, when he said his left shoulder was hurting him or something like that,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, man, maybe he's using it as a fucking excuse, but he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He showed what he could do. Okay, when he's fully healed, and you know, and he's back. You know, he took a little. He lost his. He lost the title on all those belts. It was a big setback because he's not the champion no more. But
Mm-hmm.
that fight against the Japanese guy, a tough guy, who gave Teofimo Lopez this tough fight, who knocked out Felix Verdejo. Who else did he beat, Joe? I can't remember that Japanese guy. God dang, I can't remember.
Oh, Nakatani?
Yeah, Nakatani. I know Lopez and Verdejo. I know that he knocked out. He gave him tough fights. I can't remember, but anyway, Lomachenko. He didn't have a problem with that guy. Hell no.
Nope.
After the fourth round, he started figuring him out, and he knew what was working for him. Offensively, it was some straight left hands. You know what I mean? Then he kept that Japanese guy's tough too, boy. He just kept taking him and taking him and taking him. But I always say a lot of guys are tough, Joe. Boxing, there's a lot of tough guys out there, but it's like a rock. You keep on hitting the rock, it's gonna crack. And Saturday night, Nakatani, that rock cracked. But that's what, like I said, Joe, that's what I like about that Lomachenko, man. He's just a tremendous fighter. I still think he's one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound. High boxing IQ.
Well,
multi-dimensional attack.
Well, one thing is for certain. You do not want to fight Vasyl Lomachenko coming off the loss. Yeah. Just ask Masayoshi Nakatani and Gary Russell Jr. Can you believe he defeated Gary Russell Jr. for a world title in only his third professional fight?
Well, Joe, like I said, his amateur background. If he didn't have a good amateur background, he would never have done it.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, let's take a look now at the keys to victory for one Gervonta Davis. Coach, what does Gervonta Davis have to do to solve the matrix?
Man, the only way, Joe, honestly, Joe, use his physical attributes, okay? He's a smart guy too, Tank. He's smart. Man, sometimes he's going to have to find a way to counter this guy and hurt him and take him out. Okay, Joe? He's going to have to find a way to set up those power shots. Okay? Because he just can't just go out there and throw it on this guy. This guy will figure him out, man. All right? Mm-hmm. He's got to, his distance got to be close. Okay, Joe? Bottom line. Tank ain't going to box this guy from range. Tank's pretty quick, man. He's got quick hands, man. And he's a sharp counterpuncher, too, when he has to. But this guy don't make too many mistakes, man, like I said. You know what I mean, Joe? And this guy's got pretty damn good reflexes, to see your punches coming, to make you miss or to block those punches. Or, like I said, his in and out movement, Joe. Lomachenko, that confuses you. So Tank's got, man, to me, Joe, man, his jab. Tank don't really work his jab, man. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just going to make him a better fighter if he had a more effective jab, because it's going to set up his power shots. But he's getting away with it right now. So, me, Joe, what does he got to do to win? He's got to hit and hurt Lomachenko and finish him off. That's the only way I see winning. He don't have the skills, okay, to compete with Lomachenko if this fight goes past 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rounds. Because what do they say in boxing? Class, your class always separates you. Okay.
Over rounds,
as the fight goes on, the classes always separate you. The levels, you'll see the difference in levels. And if Tank don't hurt him or knock him out, I don't see how he's gonna beat Lomachenko, because Lomachenko is such a multi-dimensional fighter. He'll have Tank freezing up, tightening up with them feints, the different combinations he throws at you, the angles, the pivots. You know what I mean? The head and upper body movement to make you miss, to confuse you. You know what I mean, Joe? Lomachenko knows how to frustrate. His multi-dimensional attack. He understands how to frustrate you with his boxing IQ. And to me, once Tank starts getting hesitant to counter because, he don't know, he can't time Lomachenko right, or he starts getting hit with a lot of good shots, and Lomachenko starts throwing a lot of those feints at him to make him more tentative. That's when you're going to see the separation in class, man, from Lomachenko and everything right now, man. Because Tank, like I said, he ain't Lomachenko ain't Barrios, or he ain't what's that, Gamboa, or he's not Pedraza. Shit,
Yeah.
or he ain't Santa Cruz. This is a different type of animal, man. And honestly, Joe, it's a fantasy matchup. I don't think it'll be made, because the Mayweather Leonard, they're not just gonna feed their cash cow to a guy, someone dangerous like Lomachenko, who's not even, he's not proven to be highly marketable, a big ticket seller at the box office, or it's not even a pay-per-view star. Okay.
Yep.
So it doesn't make business sense. And if they don't take that fight, I wouldn't blame them. Shit.
Yeah. Well, Coach, if you were training and preparing Gervonta Davis for Vasyl Lomachenko, what would you have him work on in the gym to prepare him for everything that Vasyl Lomachenko is going to show him in the ring?
You don't have to walk this motherfucker down. Basically, he tries to be boxing cute with Lomachenko. He might get lucky, Joe. A low percentage. He might get lucky and hit him with a good shot and hurt him. And if he hurts him, you better finish him off. But to me, he might have to walk him down with a nice, good high guard defense. Okay, and work out that jab. Okay, work out that jab. Work a lot of feints, and just keep trying to close the distance. Because, like I said, when Tank gets his distance, he could hurt you at any time with any of those punches. You know what I mean? But Lomachenko's going to be smart and intelligent. He's going to be boxing him. He's not just going to stand in front of him. He's going to be boxing him in circles, at angles, okay? Moving in and out of range. So Tank's going to have to, when Lomachenko moves and boxes, he's going to have to fight, he's going to have to walk him down, get close. That's the only thing I would say, Joe. Have a nice, good, high, tight guard defense like Winky Wright when he fought Felix Trinidad, when he fought Mosley, and work that jab proficiently. And, just let his hands go and hope. And God willing, hopefully he catches Lomachenko and hurts him, then finishes his ass off. Okay? Because if he tries to play chess with Lomachenko, he's going to get checkmated.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's move then to the keys to victory for Vasyl Lomachenko. How does Vasyl Lomachenko avoid that big left hand of Tank Davis, Coach?
He knows what to do, man. He'll figure it out when he gets in there, man. Like I said, he'll have his hands up high, okay? He'll be boxing intelligently, using his footwork. Lomachenko, his foundation is his footwork. He learned it in the amateurs, okay? Moving in and out of range, moving in circles. Okay, Joe, a puncher like Tank, you don't want to stay in front of him. So you want to box in circles, move at angles, box in and out, not staying in front of him like a fucking punching bag. Okay, so basically, that'll take away his left hand, that big left hand of Tank and everything. You know what I mean? And establishing that jab. Like I said, Joe, the jab is the most important weapon in boxing. Lomachenko, man, one thing I like about him, that guy's such a great fighter. He throws all types of jabs at you. He'll throw power jabs. He'll touch you with a lot of jabs. He'll jab downstairs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To keep you confused. To keep you occupied and hesitant. Then once he starts hitting you with the feints he throws at you, then all of a sudden, he'll sneak that left hand in there. You know what I mean? But Joe, he'll know what to do. Fuck him. I don't need to do no damn breakdown how he's gonna avoid that left hand. He knows what he'll do. He knows what he got to do to, you know what I mean? But to me, I know how this. I study that motherfucker, man, and he's just a multi-dimensional fighter, man, that knows how to use all the skill sets that he's developed over the years, and he has, man. Like I said, Joe, remember I told you this earlier. Teaching these motherfuckers how to fight that don't know how to fight. You keep on explaining to them, and sometimes they don't get it.
Yep.
That means they're not smart. They can't process the information. Not Lomachenko. That boy has he's a high boxing IQ. What do you call it? A 21st century computer in his head, man. He processes all the information when he's out there, and he makes adjustments accordingly to what your opponent is doing. And he knows how to set you up. He knows how to set traps. He knows how to exploit all your weaknesses, okay? And he knows how to neutralize your strengths. And that's what he'll do with Tank.
Wow. So, Gogie, it's time then for your final prediction. How does this fight play out in your mind?
Oh, it's good. First few, got to be aware of Tank's power. Box him intelligently. Start the breakdown process, meaning not physically but mentally. Okay, Joe. Start getting Tank hesitant. Started getting him frustrated, making him miss a lot. Okay, establish that jab. Establish that jab. Hard jabs, but a lot of touch jabs, a lot of hard jabs to the body, and once he starts nailing them with some shots, Tank with some shots, Joe, the feints start working better. Okay, then like I said, his in and out movement, moving in circles, he just mixes up his attack so beautifully, Joe. You don't know what he's gonna do, and that's why it's gonna make Tank very hesitant. It's going to make him very hesitant to get off offensively because he's going to be so worried about what Lomachenko is going to be doing to him that he forgets what he's got to do. Okay, see when a guy got you frustrated and flustered and confused, you forget your game plan, what you got to do. But Tank, he's a smart fighter too, man. He's smart, he's calm. But he's not on. He doesn't play chess on the level of Lomachenko. But guess what, Joe? When you can hit like Tank, you're always in the ball game. Okay. Right?
Oh, indeed. So
you're always in the ball game when you're like Tank, like Mark McGuire. I remember my boys, Fernando Vina and Edgar Renteria. They're the all-star.
The Cardinals. Well,
yeah, there was all-star second baseman, my boy Vina, and Renteria was all-star shortstop. When I lived in Houston, they used to come in town all the time. Mm-hmm. So as a courtesy, I used to pick them up and wheel out to lunch, and I used to go to all the games. And I remember Mark McGuire a lot of times. He'd be 0 for 5. Mark McGuire, the guy.
Yep. Big Mac. Yep.
Yeah. Power hitter. Okay, can hit it out of the ballpark at any time. I remember one game he was like 0 for 5. Boy, he can hit shit. Then all of a sudden, the 6th time he got up at bat, the guy made a mistake. The pitcher made a mistake, and right down he threw a fastball right down the middle. Mark McGuire hit that shit out of the park. I mean, out of the park. That's what Tank Davis is. He's Mark McGuire. He's Sammy Sosa. Okay, anytime you make a mistake on Tank, you might be down going in the 11th round. You might have lost 9 out. You might have lost 8 out of the 10 rounds going in the 11th round. But if Lomachenko made a mistakes, boom, out of the ballpark. Yeah. That's the kind of power hitter, home run hitter that Tank Davis is. He's Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa. Yeah. Nowadays, I don't follow baseball no more, but who's a good power hitter in baseball? I don't know. I don't follow that no more.
Well, it's hard to tell. I mean, honestly, I religiously follow my Cincinnati Reds, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So Winker is leading the Reds with 17 homers on the year.
Yeah, he's not on the juice like the motherfuckers I was talking about. No. But
now, juice ball era is done for in baseball.
Yeah, but McGuire, man, I'm telling you, Joe, when I used to watch that guy in batting practice, or then in the games, you make a mistake.
Yep, make it pay for it.
And that's the same thing with Tank Davis. You miss a punch or your defense, there's a little hole in your defense, and he sees it, he exploits it, like Leo Santa Cruz when he stood on the damn ropes. You're going to, game over. Game, don't even count. You know what I mean?
So you're predicting a shocking upset with Tank Davis knocking out Vasyl Lomachenko?
Only if he hits him. But that's a low percentage, Joe. I'm a percentage guy, Joe. All right? I'm a percentage guy. Like, that's a 25% chance. I'm going low.
So basically what you're saying is Vasyl Lomachenko versus Tank Davis in baseball is like Greg Maddux painting the corners against a fastball hitter like Mark McGwire.
Yeah, basically. Maddux, from what I remember, he was a smart, intelligent pitcher. He didn't try to overpower you with pitches, but he played chess. He was a great chess master.
Yep.
Okay.
He would paint the corners. Oh, well, that guy was dominant. It's a joy to watch. Yep.
Exactly. And that's what Lomachenko is, a master. He's a grandmaster chess player. Okay. Tank's a good chess player, but he ain't no grandmaster. Now, like I said, when you can punch like Tank, you're always in the ball game. So, man, that fight should be made, man. That would be a great pay-per-view fight. But I'm only dreaming. We're in the era of fantasy matchups, not real fights happening, okay?
Well, Coach, from what I've been hearing, there is a possibility that Ryan Garcia could get the next assignment for Gervonta Tank Davis at 135 pounds. Do you believe it? And who wins?
I don't believe this shit, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't believe it. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you something. I wrote an article on FightSaga the other day, yesterday to be exact, and it was based on Leonard Ellerby's comments, right?
Yeah.
He said this. Let me pull it up for you. When faced with all of the criticism based on Floyd Mayweather's thoughts, right? And we rattled off Floyd Mayweather's post-fight commentary on our previous show.
Yeah.
But because of all the backlash that he had read on social media, he had to say this. He said, quote, "Let me clear this narrative up before it gets out of hand. We will make the biggest and best fights for Tank and the fans, period.
Oh.
As evidenced when I tried to make the Ryan Garcia fight with Golden Boy in March before we made Barrios. The fights have to make sense to us."
Yeah.
Well, Leonard, it also has to make sense to the fans. Look, trust me, Coach, if this pay-per-view doesn't produce great numbers, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and come up with a more attractive opponent for Tank Davis if they want to keep him on the pay-per-view platform.
Hey, Joe, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What were the pay-per-view numbers for Tank's last fight? Me personally, if it did good, you know how they are. Showtime, they're bragging about it the next day, Sunday afternoon. They put a big old press release, and I haven't heard shit on what the numbers are. So I don't know if I haven't heard shit by now, the numbers weren't probably any good.
Well, from what just early projections, Coach, they weren't very favorable. And honestly, I think Vasyl Lomachenko fighting Nakatani for free on ESPN at the exact same time really didn't do them many favors. And also given the fact that Mario Barrios is a virtual unknown, even within the boxing community. I mean, he's a good fighter, and he was undefeated. But, he's a virtual unknown to anyone outside of South Texas. I mean, put it this way, Coach. When Jesse James Leija walks down the street in San Antonio, Texas,
he's known.
Everyone recognizes Leija.
That's my boy. Yep. Leija's my boy.
He's a celebrity in San Antonio. He's got the key to the city. Now, when Mario Barrios walks down the street at any time in the city, no one recognizes him. No one.
He's known in the fucking barrio. In the barrio, yeah.
Hence the name. But that's the problem, Coach. And I think if I had to predict, I would probably say between 125,000 and 150,000 purchases, because it's funny. And once again on FightSaga, we always track things with Google Trends. That night, Saturday night, NBA was trending. Vasyl Lomachenko. But for some reason, Tank Davis in this fight was not trending on Google Trends. Right? Guys, quality of opposition matters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So, once again, and Floyd knows this, right? When he signed that big 6-fight deal with Showtime, his first fight with them was against Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Did good. It did well, but not great. So the next fight, well, he was forced to tangle with Canelo Alvarez. And they raked in 2.2 million pay-per-view purchases with that fight. So Floyd knows what it takes, right?
You got to have a dance partner, man, Joe. You can't do it, but you know what I mean? You need a dance partner.
That's it. And in my opinion, this is why they make the fight with Ryan Garcia, because I think these numbers are going to prove to be disappointing for everyone involved. And if Tank Davis wants to stay on the pay-per-view platform, well, they're going to have to put him with someone who's a lot more attractive and who's also a ticket seller. In my opinion, the Ryan Garcia fight gets made. Listen to this, Coach. From what I've heard, it's a potential 2-fight deal. The first one being on Showtime pay-per-view, and the rematch being on DAZN in spring of next year. What do you think of that?
When I see it, I'll believe it.
Indeed, and that's the state of boxing today, brother. But I tell you what, Coach, I want to thank you for your time this evening. Guys, we've got a lot to talk about in boxing news, but we don't want to waste any of Gogi's time.
Hey, who's fighting this week anyway?
Oh, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be Chris Colbert at 130 pounds with King Tug taking the fight on 2 weeks' notice, filling in for Yuri Orkis Gamboa, moving up to 130 pounds. This is a great matchup, Coach. But is King Tug ready for the, slick boxing style of Chris Colbert?
Well, we'll see. He's taking this fight on 2 weeks' notice. Maybe they offered him money that he couldn't turn down. Because, Joe, look, King Tug, the fuck's he going to make this kind of money, man? Of course he's going to take it, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So.
Well, and that's your main event from Carson, California, the old StubHub Center, now the Dignity Health Sports Arena, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be your main event of the evening on a Showtime triple header, and it's going to be take place after the replay of Gervonta Davis versus Mario Barrios. So and that's the only big show this weekend. So it should do very good numbers for Steven Espinosa and Showtime. Your parting shots for this special Thursday episode of War Week Radio, Coach?
No. Colbert's fight, I'm interested. To me, he's gotten better. I like watching prospects, how they evolve up the food chain. I want to see their progress, Joe. I want to see if they get better as fighters. Some fighters you see from the 4-round stage to the 10-round stage, you don't see the improvement. Only improvement you see is their ability to go 10 rounds, but you don't see the skills that they're supposed to develop in the 4s, the 6, the 8. Okay, by the time to get to the 10-round level, the skill sets are not there. Okay, and that's why I like seeing these prospects develop at the early stages of their career and everything to see if they develop the skill sets they need to compete at the highest level when you go up the food chain and everything. Colbert, he's getting better, man. They're getting him with some good fights. He lost one fight.
Actually, no, he didn't, Coach. He is 15-0 with only 6 knockouts, He's the number 12 ranked fighter, according to BoxRec, in the super featherweight division. But he already has a WBA interim title, whatever that means.
Yeah, but he's gotten better, Joe. Okay, that's one thing I noticed about when he was coming up. He fought like a glorified amateur, like all these fucking kids. A lot of these kids do when they turn pro. Even Devin Haney. If you ever seen Devin Haney when he turned pro, he fought like that. And this kid, he was one of them. I was like, oh, geez, he's got a lot of work. So you know what? I quit following him for a while. Then all of a sudden, the last few fights, I'm like, shit, this kid's getting better. He's improved. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't fight like a glorified amateur and just throw all these bullshit punches. Now he's more relaxed, more calm as a pro. Like a real pro, a world class pro is real calm and relaxed. Doesn't waste energy. Takes his time and picks his shots. Okay, Thinks out there. Okay, all right. A glorified amateur goes out there, and just throws a million punches at you. You know what I mean? Like in a 3-round fight. World-class pros don't fight like that, okay? They're smart, they're calm, they take their time, they pick their shots, and they make sure every punch counts. And that's one thing I'm finding out about Colbert and everything. And I can see him developing and growing, and his confidence level too is which is the most important, is really matured over the years.
Well, it's amazing. He's going to have a much bigger audience for this fight because of and nothing that he did in the ring or nothing that he said about King Tug. Yeah. But because of all of his comments recently on his criticism towards Deontay Wilder, which stirred up a lot of controversy as of late. Yeah, Coach, we'll go into that on another day because that's a lot of nonsense, and we know you don't like to deal with a lot of noise within the boxing community. But
I'm not in, man, Joe. I'm too old for that shit. I'm too old to get up in that boxing guy. If I was younger, hell yeah, man, I'd be fucking, man, I'd be getting up on that. I'd be all into that. All into that boxing gossip, and he said this and she said that. I call it the National Enquirer shit. But I'm too old for that stuff. I don't care about it, man. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't get involved in other people's politics. That's one of my rules now. I learned the hard way. All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we all have. But, Gogie, that's going to just about do it. On behalf of Coach James Gogue, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War Week Radio. Guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. But have a wonderful Thursday evening, everybody.
We'll see you Sunday night.